Oh, schaffrillas uploaded a new YouTube video. And it's about ranking every Pixar movie. Wonder where he's gonna put Cars 2 at. Such a good film. Decent sequel. Really loved it growing up, so hopefully his opinion is very good, very valid, and at least hoping it's at least top 5. Maybe top 10, but still, pretty good film. So bring it on, schaffrillas. Where are you gonna rank it?
I mean, what the f do you want me to say? This is one of the worst sequels of all time and one of the worst animated movies I've ever had the displeasure of sitting through.
Are you kidding me? Last place? One of the worst sequels and one of the worst movies of all time? Schaffrillas, come on, man. You're better than this. Oh my. So, schaffrillas, you think Cars 2 is the worst Pixar movie, huh? Well, I'm about to prove you wrong. And I'm gonna prove you wrong more than ever. And I will defend it with every body cell in my body. Cell body. Yeah, whatever. Mark my words, schaffrillas. Cars 2 is a good film, and I'm gonna defend it. So whatever you say, I'm gonna use your words against yours. Like, that bunny rabbit from Zootopia. You're going down, schaffrillas. Let's do this. Time to diss him, baby.
If you accept the insane premise that destroys every good aspect the original film had going for it, you're stuck with the most frustratingly stupid story Pixar has ever concocted.
Alright, you want to start off the plot, eh? Alright then, I guess I can tackle that first. The plot. Now, complicated, yes. The more we watch it, the more you understand it. So, billionaire Sir Axelrod found a new type of oil that people could switch to so people can try out. So, he created the World Grand Prix! So he selects racers from all around the globe to race in this one big race and to try out their alternative fuel. However, there is a weakness that a little itty-bitty corporatizing little gang called the Lemon Party is actually exploited that weakness with an electric magnetic field that will polarize and eventually send in an electric charge through the car's motors, causing it to explode and burn out. So, they use this weakness to look alternative fuel bad, so they will switch back to normal gasoline. And then Lemon Party will become the richest oil company tycoon in the world. Which, plot twist, or I guess it's not really a plot twist, it's kind of like a big, and it's right there, Sir Axelrod's part of the Lemon Party. So yeah, they created the World Grand Prix to make alternative fuel look bad, so they can switch back to gasoline, and the Lemon Party can be rich and all-powerful. It's complicated, yeah, but when you understand it, then it's really easy to tackle down.
It is astounding how bad at their jobs these spy cars are. Imagine A Bug's Life, but Flick doesn't realize he hired circus bugs even after they tell him they're from the circus multiple times, and you basically have Cars 2. Everyone in this movie is a complete idiot, to the point where it's not an exaggeration to call Mater the smartest character.
Alright, characters. Now this one is an analyzing one. It's going to require glasses, because represent smart. So, yeah, Finn and Holly aren't the brightest, even though Mater tells them that he's not a spy, and they're like, oh, Mater, stop, you're playing your normal character way too good, man. You're like a professional spy. It's like, yeah, they're pretty dumb, but getting out of sticky situations, they're really good. Maybe it's because they have plot armor or something, but they do the job good. So, big example would be the Big Bang scene and the oil rig scene in the beginning. Big Bang Missile knows how to get out of sticky situations. In the oil rig scene, he jumps off an helipad and gets blown up by a missile, faking his death. And then in the Big Ben scene, he's caught in rope and is about to be chopped up in a bunch of gears. So, what does he do? He literally just tells Holly to start revving and revving. And then when that gear comes down, chops off their rope, and then they're able to get free. It's like they're not really good at hearing, but they're really good at getting out of sticky situations. Lemon is not gonna lie.
It's like they were actively trying to make a bad movie with this one. Like, there's two other Pixar cinematic disasters that I'll talk about very shortly, but with those movies, they had incredibly troubled production histories that caused them to turn out so shitty. They were failed but earnest attempts to make a good movie. But this? No. I refuse to believe that there was ever any intention of making this movie good.
Thinking that Cars 2 is a bad movie. Let me tell you something, schaffrillas. Oh boy. Yes, Brave and Good Dinosaur is bad. There are two good scenes in at least that. Like in Brave, you have the beginning, yeah, and then you have that sick arrow scene that you mentioned later in the list. They're really good and justifiable. And Good Dinosaur, you have your characters, you got the family, you got the other brothers and stuff, and then you got the Stick family and how Spot and Arlo tell each other how they got separated from their families. Really wholesome. And here's the thing. Cars 2 actually has a really good scene talking about, like, emotions. And yeah, it's your generic, the goofball realizes that about, like, being a goofball and stuff, but, like, come on, it's like saying that Goofy from Mickey Mouse and Friends realizes, I should be this dumb, so I'm just gonna start acting normal. No, Mater actually embraces his idiocy. Like, he's like, yes, I may have 2 buck teeth. Yes, I may just be an old, rusted, beaten down tow truck, but I am more than that. I will show the world I am more than that. And that's inspirational. It's kind of like Planes' plot, where it's like the hero, or I guess the main character, just like realizes that you can rise from anything. In which your last Jedi review, you did say, like, at the ending with the little broom boy, saying, like, heroes can rise from anywhere. No matter if it's a big corporizing company, or if you're like poor on the streets or a farmer or anything. It's a really good message about, like, being yourself. Like, you're not technically needing to change just to fit in. Like, you can fit in. It's just that sometimes it's just good to be you. Like, I have autism. I don't really hide it that much. I just mature. It's a really good message to any little kids. It's like, being yourself is really good. Schaffrillas. It's a generic message, but it's wholesome. It really is.
I would legitimately rather rewatch Minions than this pile of shit. That's a movie that clearly had less effort put into it, yet it manages to be more mature, more entertaining, and less infuriating than this Pixar movie.
Minions? Really? Minions? You're wanting to tell me that little yellow Cyclops banana-loving pieces of shit are more entertaining than a bucktooth tow truck going on spy adventures to take down a big corporizing tycoon who's trying to get big and rich by making alternative fuel look bad by racers all around the world? Really? You think that a bunch of 3 yellow midgets trying to find a supervillain boss more entertaining than that? Oh my god, I just can't with you, Schaffrillas. I just can't. Cars 2. Complicated plot, really good character, but it's really good. It's a really good plot the more you understand it. And then, you have your usual car cast. It's like, it does involve racing, and then, removing it, then you saying that, like, oh, you could just remove the racing thing, and then it's just like, nothing will change out of the plot. But then, like, how would the Lemon Party use to make alternative fuel look bad? Explain to me that, Schaffrillas. That is a big plot hole that you forgot to analyze, that I catched up. If there was no racing, how would the Lemon Party exploit alternative fuel looking bad? Modern problems require modern solutions, am I right?
Cars 2 is a movie for infants and absolutely no one else.
Okay, Cars 2. It's not just, it's more than just for infants, you know? It's like, can infants catch up on the complicated plot? Can they understand the message about, being yourself and not changing to fit into society? Can they pick up on that at just 3 years old? I mean, maybe about the message, but not the plot. Not the plot. It's like, yeah, there's some baby humor in there, but like, the plot, man. You think babies can fit in the plot? It's like Rise of Skywalker may have a complicated plot, but like infants cannot piece in the puzzles as really good. 3-year-olds cannot are not good at puzzles. So if you have a complicated plot, then how would be considered a kids movie, schaffrillas? If your film has a complicated plot, then why would you call it a baby movie if babies cannot piece in the puzzles of a plot?
Do I not sound angry enough? Well, that's because I straight up don't care. I don't give a shit about Cars, and while this movie permanently dented Pixar's morale and sent them on a decade-long losing streak, it's not like it ruined a franchise I was emotionally invested in.
Okay, schaffrillas, you're right. It didn't ruin the franchise, though its critical score and box office is just says a lot. It probably says itself, but like, Cars is a okay franchise. Like, it's not good per se. I'd say more or less 5 out of 10. Yeah, Cars, the entire franchise is just a 5 out of 10. It's like just racing. If I wanted to watch racing with action, I just watch Fast and Furious. Or if I just wanted strict action, Fast and Furious. I just can't. I just love Fast and Furious. But like Cars, it's a decent racing movie. It's like, yeah, some of the side characters and like the plot in the middle part dragging on at Radiator Springs kind of says a lot. At least the racing parts were decent. It was decent. Cars was decent, and you said that already in your video I'm watching. But Cars 2 did not permanently dented the reputation and sent them on a decade-long losing streaks, okay? Because Brave is clearly worse. It's worse. Because, like, they made their first princess movie and they failed. They failed, schaffrillas. They failed. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing my eyeball? Are you seeing that it failed on its first attempt? Seriously. It's like saying that Sony Animations flopped and just didn't make any more movies after freaking open season. It's like, come on, man. Cars 2, yes, it was technically like their first bad sequel, but not to me. Not to me. It's like, you're not emotionally invested in the franchise, but I personally am. I find Mater enjoyable, which you clearly do not. I like the premise of the plot, which also you don't. I like the action, which you also don't. But may I remind you of one more thing that you forgot to mention so far? The soundtrack. Yeah, baby. You know which part of the soundtrack I'm talking to. It's like you're gonna say that Minions had a better soundtrack than that? Psh, get out of here, schaffrillas, bruh. That is clearly not valid.
This is a terrible idea for a bad franchise, and this movie is the exact legacy that John Lasseter deserves. Fuck you.
Alright, to cap off your review, Cars 2 is not a bad film. It has a banger soundtrack, a plot, while complicated, and it takes a while to learn. And then the characters from the first film, whether you like them or not, they're sidetracked, okay? If you didn't like Flo, Ramon, Sarge, or any of those guys, pushed aside, okay? They get limited screen time. And even though you don't like Mater, you're not wrong about him being the smartest character. It's like, not to mention some of the lemon parties, like plans, are just absurd. Like, using Mater as a fucking suicide bomber to kill Lightning McQueen personally. Like, holy shit. You're gonna tell me that Minions has absurd villainy plans when you got literally Mater as a suicide bomber, for Christ's sake? Oh my god, schaffrillas. Oh, yeah, man. But yeah, banger soundtrack, complicated plot, takes a while to understand, characters that you can get emotionally invested in, and not to mention, oh boy, the opening, the ending, the messages, the visuals. Like, this movie came out in, like, what, 2011, 2012? The animation still holds up quality. It's like Toy Story, the first one. Animation looks dull, but still, it ages like fine wine, baby. But yeah, Cars 2 is a good Pixar film. It is a good sequel. And no matter how hard you may diss it, schaffrillas, let me clarify this. I am this one psychotic path that you mentioned at the end of this ranking that I enjoys that film. So yeah, schaffrillas, you are very wrong about Cars 2, okay? I grew up watching the film. I learned to enjoy it, and it's one movie I will occasionally rewatch time after time after time again. I love it so much. It's just so good. Yeah. I'm doing what everyone else is doing about your Disney ranking list. Good on ya. But yeah, good night, everyone at Tri-State area, except you, schaffrillas. I hate ya. And just Cars 2 is good. That's all I can end it off with. Cars 2 is good, and schaffrillas, your opinion is not valid. Good night, Tri-State area.